everyone, my name is Caroline. I will be guiding you through a mat Pilates workout for runners. So we are going to focus on strengthening our core and our hamstrings, as well as loosening up our hip flexors a little bit. The only prop you will need today is our gray ball, so let's get started. I'm going to have you start by standing on the edge of your mat here. We are going into our standing roll downs first. So making sure you are starting with a nice stacked spine at the top. Taking that inhale as your hands are reaching up overhead. On your exhale, you are scooping your belly button to your spine as you slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Once your hands reach down on your mat, you are going to walk yourself out into your high plank position, making sure that your shoulders are right over your wrists. Your hips are low in line with your body. Taking 2 breaths here, just holding your plank. Then on your exhale, you are going to walk yourself back in and slowly roll yourself up bone by bone, coming back up to your stacked spine at the top to reset. We're going to do this 3 more times here, walking yourself out, 1, 2, 3, 4, holding your plank at the bottom, keeping your core fired up. And one last breath. Slowly walking ourselves back into our feet as we slowly roll back up. Going for 2 more times here. Hands reach down to your feet. You are walking yourself out into your high plank. You are holding, just squeezing your core, keeping your hips low. You are squeezing your shoulder blades together. And walking ourselves back in. Slowly rolling ourselves back up, going into this 1 more time. Inhale, hands are coming up overhead. Exhale, you're imagining that you are scooping over a beach ball as you slowly roll down. Once your hands reach down to your feet, you are pressing out into your high plank. You are holding, squeezing your upper back together. Your belly button staying scooped to your spine. Taking 2 more breaths. And 1 last breath, slowly walking ourselves all the way back in, slowly rolling all the way back up. Now dropping down onto all 4s here, we are going into our cat-cows next. So making sure that your hands are right under your shoulders here, your knees are staying right under your hips. Making sure that you are matching your breath to your movement here. You're going to take that inhale as the crown of your head starts drawing up towards the ceiling. You are pulling your chest down towards the ground. On your exhale, your head is dropping down in between your shoulders as you start rounding out your back, pressing up towards the ceiling. Thinking about articulating your spine here. Also thinking about engaging your core on your exhale as you are rounding out your back. Inhale as your head draws up, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Exhale as your head drops down in between your shoulders. Going for 2 more breaths here. And 1 last breath. Now coming back to a neutral spine here, so making sure that your back is nice and flat. We are going into our opposite arm and leg reaches here. So taking that inhale, you are going to extend your right arm forward, your left leg will come back. On your exhale, you are drawing yourself back to center to go right into your other side here. Inhale as you extend. Exhale as you come back to center. Matching your breath to your movement again. Making sure that both hips are staying even with each other as you're extending your arm out and your leg. Now the next time your right arm is forward, your left leg is back. We are staying on that side to go into our bird dogs here. Taking that exhale, you are drawing your elbow and knee in towards center under your belly button. On your inhale, you are extending back out. Just like when you were doing your cat-cows here, you are scooping your belly button to your spine as your back rounds out. Thinking of using your abs to draw your elbow and knee in towards each other. Going for 2 more on this side. And 1 last one. Coming back to center here, we're going right into our other side. So extending your right leg back, your left arm will come forward, taking that exhale as your elbow and knee draw in towards each other. Inhale as you extend back out. Making sure you are scooping your belly button to your spine as your elbow and knee draw in towards center. Going for 2 more on this side. Still making sure that both hips are staying even with each other. And coming back to center, let's just go into a little child's pose. Letting your head drop down in between your shoulders. You can always roll out your wrists here if you need as well. Just getting a little stretch. And coming back to center here. We are going to flip over onto our backs. Next, we are going into our fingertip abdominals here. So laying down on your back, feet are going to be flat against the ground here. Your hands are going to rest right on your lower belly in between your hip bones. Taking that big inhale as your belly starts drawing up towards the ceiling, you'll start to feel your fingertips pulling away from each other. On your exhale, you are squeezing every last drop of air out. As you feel your fingertips interlacing with each other, you will start to diminish that space between your lower back and the ground. Then on your inhale, your belly is drawing back up. On your exhale, you are thinking of engaging your pelvic floor. You are firing up your lower abs here. So as you take that exhale, you are thinking of scooping your belly button to your spine. You are drawing your fingertips in towards each other. Then on your inhale, your belly will start to draw up towards the ceiling. Going for 2 more breaths. And taking 1 last breath here. Now placing our hands onto the points of our hips, we're going into our pelvic rocks. So keeping your body still here, you are trying to just move your pelvis back and forth. You'll take that inhale as your tailbone starts drawing down towards the ground. The space between your lower back and the ground will start to get bigger. On your exhale, you are thinking of pulling the points of your hips up towards your shoulders as that space completely goes away underneath your lower back. So inhale as your tailbone pulls down, creating a greater space under your back. Exhale as your hip bones point up, getting rid of that space. Trying to keep your legs as still as they can here. You are trying to just move your pelvis with these. Taking 2 more breaths here. And 1 last breath, taking that inhale as your tailbone pulls down. Exhale as the points of your hips reach up towards your shoulders. Now coming back to center here, we are going to go into our round back bridging. So hands are coming down by your sides. Your feet are flat on the ground still. Taking that big inhale to prepare. On your exhale, you are going to start tucking your tail under as you squeeze your glutes, pressing up into your bridge, bone by bone. Coming up to the top, taking that inhale at the top. On your exhale, you're slowly lowering yourself back down, 1 vertebra at a time. Once your tailbone is down, you are taking that inhale again to prepare. Exhale, squeezing your glutes, you're tucking your tail under as you slowly roll up into your bridge. making sure that your shoulders are staying heavy down on your mat as you are doing these. Exhale, scoop and lift. Pressing up into your bridge. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you slowly lower back down. Going for 2 more like this. You're also thinking of activating your hamstrings as you are pressing up to your bridge. You're imagining that you are pulling your knees past your ankles as you are coming up. On this last one, we are going to stay at the top in our bridge here, going into our marches. So taking that inhale, your right foot will float off as you draw your right knee in towards your chest. Exhale as you slowly lower back down. Just switching back and forth between each side. As you are doing these here, you want to focus on keeping both hips even with each other. Squeezing your glutes to keep your hips as high as you can. Going for 4 more here. Last 3. Last 2. And one last one here. Placing our foot down, slowly lowering down 1 vertebra at a time. Once your tail is down, we're just going to windshield wiper our knees here, bringing our arms wide, feeling that release on your lower back and your hips. And coming back to center here, we are going to grab onto our gray ball now, going into our sideline glute work. So placing your ball right under your ribs, you're going to bring your forearm down onto your mat. Placing your right leg down on your mat, you're going to extend your left leg out to start with our leg lowers here. Inhale as your leg lifts, exhale as you lower. Keeping both hips stacked on top of each other as you are doing these. You are thinking of squeezing your side glute as your foot is lifting off. Going for 4 more here. Exhale, last 3. Last 2. And exhale, last 1. Keeping our leg up now. We are going into our leg sweeps. So taking that inhale, you're going to flex your foot as your foot reaches forward. Then on your exhale, you are sweeping your leg back, making sure that your hips are staying stacked as your foot is reaching back. Thinking of pressing your leg back into your hips as your foot is sweeping forward. Going for 3 more. Last 2. And one last one. Now keeping our leg up, we're going into our small circles here. Going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reversing last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, coming all the way back in. Taking our ball now, we are going to lay down on our backs, placing our ball right in between our knees to go into our double toe taps here. Hands are coming down by our sides, our legs are coming into tabletop here. Before you even start moving, I want you to think about pressing your lower back down into your mat to engage your lower abs. Keeping your legs at that 90-degree angle. Taking that inhale as your feet start lowering down. Exhale, squeeze and lift as you draw your legs back up. So inhale as you lower. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Thinking of squeezing your ball as you are doing these. Going for 4 more here. Last 3. Last 2. And one last one. Keeping your legs up in tabletop. Hands are going to come right behind your head to go into our ab curls next. Taking that inhale to prepare, on your exhale, you're scooping and lifting, tucking your chin in towards your chest. Inhale as you lower back down. Exhale, scoop and lift. You're trying to get your head, neck, and shoulders up off your mat. Inhale as you lower down. Scooping your belly button to your spine. You're pressing your lower back down into your carriage as you're curling up. Going for 4 more. Exhale, last 3. Last 2. And exhale, last 1. Coming all the way back down, taking our ball out from in between our legs. Let's just go ahead and windshield wiper our knees again. And coming back to center, ball is coming back in between our knees. Legs are back in tabletop. We're going into our oblique ab curls next. So keeping our legs at that 90-degree angle, hands are coming back behind our head. Reaching your left hand up towards the ceiling, taking that inhale to prepare. On your exhale, you're scooping and lifting, reaching your left hand past your right knee, then taking that inhale as you come back down to center. Keeping both hips heavy down on your mat. You are getting that twist in your torso by firing up your oblique. Going for 4 more on this side. Exhale, last 3. Last 2. And exhale, last 1. Going right into our other side here. Now our left hand is behind our head, right hand is up towards the ceiling. Taking that exhale as you scoop and lift. Inhale as you lower. Still keeping both sits bones heavy down on your mat. Still getting that twist in your torso by squeezing your obliques. Going for 4 more on this side. Exhale, last 3. Last 2. And exhale, last 1. Coming back down, taking our ball out from in between our knees. We are going into our flat back bridging next. So placing our ball back in between our knees. We are keeping our spine as one unit now. Feet are flat down on our mat. Taking your inhale to prepare. On your exhale, you're squeezing your glutes, lifting your hips straight up towards the ceiling. On your inhale, you are pulling your tailbone back down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Squeezing your ball in between your knees. Firing up your hamstrings to, you are imagining that you are pulling your knees right over your first 2 toes as you are lifting up. Keeping your shoulders heavy down on your mat here to protect your neck. Exhale, squeeze and lift. On this next one, we are staying at the top here, going into our hip dips. So taking that inhale, you're going to dip one hip down towards the ground. Exhales, you squeeze your glutes back to center. Inhales, you dip to the other side. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you lift. Still squeezing that ball in between your knees. Squeezing your glutes to press your hips straight back up. Going for 3 more. Last 2. And one last one. Holding our bridge at the top, we are going to squeeze our ball in between our knees. Going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Slowly rolling ourselves all the way back down. Now rolling ourselves up here, we are going to place our ball in between our ankles now to go into our roll-ups. So laying all the way down here, hands are going to start up overhead. You are going to extend your legs out. Taking that inhale to prepare. On your exhale, your hands are going to start reaching up as you curl up one vertebra at a time. Taking that inhale and your stacked spine at the top. Exhale as you scoop and lower, slowly coming down. Then taking that inhale as your hands reach back up overhead. Exhale, scoop and lift. Reaching your stacked spine at the top. Exhale as you scoop and lower. Thinking about going deep into your C curve. Your lower back should be the first thing that is touching your mat as you are rolling down. Using your abs to pull yourself up here. You are going as slow as you can. Let's go for 3 more here. Scoop and lower. And exhale, last 2. And doing one last one here. Taking that exhale as we pull ourselves back up. Taking that inhale in our stacked spine. Exhale as we slowly lower all the way back down. Now rolling ourselves up here, we are going to grab our ball again, standing all the way back up. We are going into our reverse lunges next. So holding our ball in our chest here, you're taking that inhale as you lower down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale as you lower back. Exhale, squeeze your glutes to pull yourself back up to the top. Oop, lost my balance there. Exhale, squeeze. Squeezing your ball in between your hands. You are thinking about engaging your chest here. Making sure that your knee is going right over your ankle as you are bending down. On this next one, we are holding it at the bottom, just going into our little pulses up, going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, coming all the way back up, going right into our other side here. Ball is staying in our chest. Our right foot is staying forward now, taking that inhale as you reach back into your lunge. Exhale as you pull yourself back to center. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you lift. Keeping your chest nice and lifted as you are bending down. Going for 3 more like this. Exhale, last 2. On this last one, staying low. Pulsing it out, we're going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, coming all the way back up. Next, we're going into our sideline glutes on the other side. So laying back down on our side. So now our left leg is down on the ground. You are over your ball, making sure your ball is right under your ribs. You are placing your left forearm down on your mat. Extending your right leg out now, starting with our leg lowers. You're taking that inhale as your foot reaches up. Exhale as you lower down. Thinking of lifting out of your left shoulder here. Going for 4 more. Exhale, last 3. Last 2. Staying up on this last one, we're going into our leg sweeps here, flexing your foot. Taking that inhale as your foot sweeps forward. Exhale as you point your foot, reaching your leg back. Inhale as your leg sweeps forward. Exhale as you pull back. Making sure that your hips are staying stacked on top of each other as your leg is pulling back. Going for 3 more on this side. Last 2. And one last one. Keeping our leg extended, we're going into our small circles, going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reversing last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, coming all the way back down. Next, we are going into our single leg kicks here. So placing your ball underneath your sternum here, you're going to flip over onto your stomach. Resting your forehead down on your hands here. You are going to take that inhale, flexing your foot up, drawing it in towards your glute, trying to float your quad off the ground here to really fire up your hamstring. You're going to pulse in 3 times, going for 1, 2, 3. Pointing our foot as our leg lowers back down, going right into our other side here. Flexing our left foot, now you're curling your leg in, going 1, 2, 3. Pointing your foot as your leg lowers back down. Really focusing on squeezing your hamstrings to curl your foot in here. Exhale as you flex, 1, 2, 3. Point as you lower. Going for 2 more here. And this is our last set, curling 1, 2, 3. Point as you lower, doing this one last side. Point and lower. Sending our hips back. Let's go into our child's pose here. Just releasing our hips and our lower back. And rolling ourselves up. We are placing our ball to the side. Going into a high plank position here, we're going into our leg pull next. So hands are right under your shoulders, your feet are extended out to press out into your high plank. Now you're going to start by sending your heels back. You'll rock backwards. Now adding in your leg lift, you will lift your right leg up first, sending your heel back, pulsing your leg up, 1, 2, 3. Lower to go into the other side. Pointing your left leg up, you'll float your heel back, going for 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and lower. Keeping your hips even with each other as you are doing these. Keeping your upper back fired up to make sure that your chest isn't sinking down. You are keeping both hips even with each other. Going for 2 more here. And on our last set, 1, 2, 3, and lower. Last 1, 2, 3, and lower. Dropping down onto our knees, coming all the way back in. Next, we are going into our swan here. So grabbing onto our gray ball again, your ball is going back underneath your sternum. Dropping down onto your stomach. You are making sure that your arms are at that 90-degree angle here. Taking that exhale, you're going to lower over the ball. On your inhale, you're going to go into your back extension here. It's okay if your chest starts to lift off of your ball here. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, squeezing your shoulder blades together to really open up your chest. Exhale as you lower. Now adding on a little bit of a challenge here. You're going to bring your arms into that 90-degree angle. Taking that exhale as you reach over your ball. Inhale as you extend up. Squeezing your glutes to really deepen that extension. Making sure your hips are staying heavy down on your mat. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. Going for 3 more. Exhale, last 2. And 1, last 1. Dropping all the way back down, going back into our child's pose here. Finishing off this series, we are going into our lunge stretch here. So bringing our right foot forward, our left leg is coming back into our lunge. Now walking our right foot back so that it's outside our right hand, just to go into our runner's lunge here. You can go into those small circles to really loosen up your hip flexor. Now reversing those circles. And coming back to center, you'll go into your high plank to go right into the other side here. Bringing your left foot forward, bringing it to the outside of your left hand, sinking low into your hips, going into those small circles. And reversing those circles here. And coming back into our high plank, we are going to flip over onto our backs to finish off with a figure 4 stretch. So rolling all the way down, you are going to float your right foot off the ground, crossing it over your left knee. You'll start to feel a stretch on your hip. To deepen your stretch even more, you can float your left foot off the ground. You can always rock side to side here as well. Just focusing on your breath and that deep release. And switching to our other side here. Placing your left ankle over your right knee. You can always pull your right leg up to deepen that stretch. Just rocking side to side. Taking 2 more breaths to ourselves here. And 1 last breath. Dropping our feet back down, rolling ourselves back up, and you are done. Thank you so much for joining me today.